Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So this is our third and final video in our Bookbeam series showing you how to use each of the individual features of it. So in the first two videos we went over the first 6 features, so today we're going to go over the last remaining ones, which are going to be the opt-in page builder, the trademark checker, the Chrome extension, and then also the description formatter. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and get right into it. But before I forget though, we will have these linked below as well, the other 2 videos. So if you haven't seen the first 2 parts and you want to go find out how to use those other features, then definitely do click on the other links below in the description.
Okay, so we're going to start with the description formatter first of all. So we're going to work up, starting from down here and up to these 3. So this is a really useful tool because on Amazon, as we said in the previous video, your description really matters and it's something that people often overlook. But it's essentially sales copy which will sell your book to your customers. So obviously it's not going to help with the actual sales copy itself, but it actually helps with the formatting of it to make it look basically to make it stand out on the page, to grab your reader's attention, so it can easily be read. If you just have a block of text on your book's page on Amazon, your customers aren't going to want to read it, and therefore you're not going to convert as many people. So before we actually get on to show you how to use it, we've just got a few examples up of some just book descriptions on Amazon, and some good ones and then some not so good ones. So let's start over here first of all. Actually no, we'll start with these ones over here. So these are actually really good selling books, but their descriptions could be a lot better. So if we ignore the actual content and actually just look at how it's formatted, so as you can see that they have got some bold and they have got some bullet points, which are good because that kind of does break it up a little bit, and obviously the bold kind of draws your attention to it and the bullet points also draw your attention and makes it easier to read, but it could be better formatted. So it could have a bolder heading up here, a bolder hook up here. It could have some more formatting down the bottom. For example, it could have, not more bolding, it could have a different size font, so it's actually standing out on the page more, and same for down the bottom here, and probably in the middle as here well, just so it kind of breaks the page up a little bit. Same for this one, so this is probably even worse as a book description.
So much text.
It's a lot of text, isn't it? And obviously it's selling well because it's a good book, because it's done by a famous author, but the actual text, you're not really going to read that, are you? And you want something that's easily readable. So obviously this would be much better if it had less text and just a bit better formatted. And then the final example is one that's actually really well done. So as you can see, this is kind of how it should be. So that's much easier to read. It's broken up into bullet points. It's nicely formatted at the top. There's bold throughout, drawing your attention to a few words specifically. There's different headings as well as you go down the page, so that's obviously more easy to read. And at the bottom here, it's obviously bold and it's in larger font, again drawing your eyes to it. This is called a call to action down the bottom, so it's kind of the last bit of text which makes you, or kind of pushes the reader to make an action, or take an action and actually buy the book. So if we go into Bookbeam now, where it's really helpful is it can basically help you to format your book's description like this one here. So we've just inputted a description just from ChatGPT straight into the description formatter. Just a word, we wouldn't recommend to do that. Obviously you can use ChatGPT, but we would definitely personalize it and make sure it's not pure ChatGPT.
Yeah, this is just kind of for sake of example.
Just example, yeah. So what we do first of all is looking at the hook here. This is the first part of the description, and you can just change it to a different font size basically. So that obviously makes it stand out more. As you go throughout the description, you can like bold particular words, or you can italic particular words, again making it stand out if you want that to stand out on the page. What else is there that's good?
Another thing you can do is over here you can add in some bullet points. So obviously these are just dashes that have been copied over from ChatGPT, so you can just, because obviously the reason that this is helpful as well is because within Amazon you can do it, but it's a bit more difficult within it. It's not as like user friendly, I guess you could say, but also the point is that when you enter all of these different features, if you click on source here, it actually puts it into so you can see it has like the different HTML tags, and that's why it's important, because you have to make sure that you have the proper tags in order for it to show up properly on Amazon essentially. So if, for example, if you had the bullet points in there but you didn't actually have the tags on them, then it wouldn't actually show up as bullet points on Amazon, because you have to have those HTML tags. So that's just another reason that it is beneficial to use something like this in order to make sure that you have everything properly formatted before you actually go over to Amazon and paste it in.
Yeah, really, really good point. And then, for example, so that will be H1, and then this one down the bottom will probably be H1 as well, because those are the two part of the text you want to stand out the most. But for something like this, you might want to just include, so this book includes, you might just want to have a heading 3, for example. Not as big, because that would look a bit silly, but heading 3 would make sense there. And then if you want to, instead of doing bullet points here, let's say you're wanting to have your description with chapters and you're wanting to tell your customers what chapters you have in your book, you can do a numbered list instead. So instead of, obviously you do that here, list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. And that's probably it really. I mean, there's these 3 features here, which
you probably wouldn't really use them that much, to be honest, but you could,
It puts a line through it. We've never used that. And then this one, if you have, like, for example, H2O, obviously the 2 is dropped, so...
Just subscript and superscript, basically. So if you needed to use like numbers or something where you would need them to be a subscript or a superscript, it does have that option as well. But yeah, you can kind of play around with it and just obviously get it to looking how you want it to look. But yeah, again, the most important thing is that you're getting all the proper tags so that it actually shows up properly on Amazon. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that one. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one now. So the next thing is actually the Google Chrome extension. So this is something that you can literally just add to your Google Chrome. And then once you install it, it'll show up within Amazon. So let's just go ahead and go over to Amazon and show you. Okay, so we've come over to Amazon and just entered a random keyword topic that we've chosen in order to show you guys how the extension works, basically. But once it's installed, you'll be able to see all these different numbers up here and the different average things. So you've got the average BSR, average number of reviews, the search volume, the average price, and average estimated sales per month. So our personal favorite thing about this is the search volume. So obviously search volume can be another metric for demand, because if you have high search volume, then obviously a lot of people are looking into this, thus showing demand. So you can use that kind of in addition to your typical, like how you would normally look at the BSR rankings. So it's a really cool thing because it's just a nice, quick metric that you can use in order to know. So say we were to type something in and only like the search volume was only like 150, then that would obviously kind of immediately show you that maybe that's not a good keyword because there's not enough people searching for it. So that's kind of personally how we use it most.
Yeah, and essentially it's just the keyword research tool, but actually on Amazon itself. So you can kind of either use it in the website itself, or you can use it on Amazon. For us, we normally just go into Amazon and use it. And the other things we wouldn't really pay attention too much to be honest with you, because the average BSR is always going to be quite low for any keyword, really, because you're going to have a lot of books there which are ranking, in the hundreds of thousands, in the millions even, which really take the average BSR down. So this is probably the best thing about it, really, search volume.
And then the other thing you can also do is when you do click into a book, it also does have like an extent. Actually, here we'll click on paperback. So when you scroll down just below the description, it shows you the BSR, the estimated daily sales, estimated royalty. And you can also, if you click on view BSR history, it will pull that for however long you obviously choose. So again, like Chris said, it's pretty much what is already on the keyword research tool within the actual website. But it's just kind of cool because if you're looking actively on Amazon, you'll get all of these stats and stuff just like really easily and really quickly as well, directly as well, so you're not having to like go back and forth between Bookbeam and Amazon if you don't want to.
Yeah, and the plan that we just got it for, it goes back to a year, and you can kind of see any seasonal differences. So for example, a gardening book, you do get seasonal differences. So for this one, as you can see, in winter and into spring, it ranks very highly, and then towards the summer months, and it starts to rank a lot lower, and then it picks up again towards autumn and winter. So it gives you an idea, because if you're doing some research in the summer and you're doing a gardening book and you think, okay, the BSRs are pretty low, there might be a reason for that. And if you have this extension, then you can kind of see, okay, that is why. And then as it comes to winter, things we should start to pick up again. That's the Chrome extension tool. So next we have the trademark checker, really nice and simple. So all you're doing here is checking for trademarks, because something Amazon is very hot on is using trademarks. They're kind of stamping out quite hard on using terms that are trademarks. So for example, a very popular brand on Amazon is the For Dummies brand. They have books pretty much in every single niche. You're not allowed to use the For Dummies trademark because they've trademarked that particular term. So we do kind of recommend to just check for trademarks in your title, basically. So any keywords that you have in your title, check the trademark, because there has been some instances in the last couple of years where some quite dodgy people have just been trademarking random phrases, and then when people use those particular phrases that they don't sound like they should be trademarked, they'll obviously penalise you because you've been using some random person's trademark, even though it's a little bit unethical on the person's part. So you basically just want to check all your trademarks. So for example, if we were doing raised bed gardening, we would type that in here and then see if it's trademarked or not. So no trademarks found for this search term. So really as simple as that. And just finally is our opt-in page builder.
So the last thing we have is an opt-in page builder. So this is something that'll be beneficial if you are trying to build your email list. So obviously you can sort of add freebies into your book, and then in exchange for customers downloading that from your book, you get their email. And so this basically helps you build in an opt-in page. So we're just going to quickly show you what an opt-in page potentially looks like. However, just the disclaimer, this is actually on ActiveCampaign, because with Bookbeam, you can't actually use this unless you have one of their 3 connected email platforms, essentially. So just to show you, this is kind of all in opt-in pages. So as you can see, it just says like enter your details to get access to the free supplementary, whatever. And so you'll basically type, the customer will type their name and their email in, and then get added to your email list. So that's what an opt-in page is. And then obviously with Bookbeam, they have this feature now where you can create one. So you basically fill out all the things that they ask for. So as I said, so they've got these 3 email providers. So we don't have MailChimp, Aweber, or MailerLite. We use ActiveCampaign. So you unfortunately can't use this feature unless you actually have one of these email providers. So that is the only caveat to this is, yeah, you have to have one of those. So that's why we can't actually show you how to use this one, because we don't have that. But essentially all you're doing is creating a simple opt-in page like this, where you can add it into your book, and then people can add their emails to it. So again, that's another pretty simple one, pretty straightforward use of it as well.
So from what I understand from people that have used Bookbeam using this feature, it's a quite a simple, easy to use drag and drop page builder, where you can build out a page like that.
And just to clarify, like exactly what the journey is for the reader in terms of a lead magnet and when they would even run into an opt-in page is essentially, so for example, this book here we've pulled up, you're getting 3 free bonuses accessible via a QR code in the book. So essentially what you're going to do is the reader will scan the QR code, it will bring them to this opt-in page that you have built, and then in that opt-in page, that is where they will enter their name and their email, and then be added to your email list. So that's essentially the buyer's journey. Like from their perspective, they buy a book, and then within the book they can get these freebies. They scan a QR code or type in a link somewhere onto their browser, and then enter their name and email.
And then for you as the publisher, so what you'll be doing is you'll have obviously this opt-in page builder. You'll build a page like we have just shown you, advertising your free downloadable PDF or ebook, whatever you want to give away in addition to your actual book. You also have to sign up to MailerLite or the other 2, and then you basically connect MailerLite to Bookbeam, and then it basically allow you to build up your email list that way.
Yeah, and just to say, you don't necessarily have to have Bookbeam in order to do this. You can obviously do it externally from Bookbeam like we did, where it's just that if you want to use Bookbeam, you have to use one of their 3 integrated email providers.
Yeah. For example, on ActiveCampaign, the one that we use, it actually has this opt-in page builder on ActiveCampaign itself. So
yeah. Sweet. So yeah, that kind of wraps it up. That is the 3rd video in our 3-part series for Bookbeam. Again, if you want to watch the first 2 parts, we will link them below so you can watch the rest of the features as well if you are interested in learning about them. But yeah, if you also want to use Bookbeam, you can use our code below. We'll give you a discount, and you can let us know what you think about it.
Awesome, guys. Bye-bye.